Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Finance and Audit Committee. Sarah, would you take the roll call, please?
Yes. Jamie Picone,
Here.
Don Sagliano,
Here.
Kathy Bauer.
Here. Okay, the first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from October 1st, 2021. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to review them. And if anybody would take a motion to approve the minutes, please.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
And Sarah, would you take the vote, please?
Yep. Jamie Picone,
Approve.
Don Sagliano,
Approved.
Kathy Bauer.
Approved.
Okay.
Okay. And then next on the agenda, we have our 2021 audit to review. And we have Shannon Manisi from RBT Accounting Firm here to go over everything with us. Shannon, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So if you have the financials in front of you, if you don't, I will talk you through it. So there's one thing I'd like to point out with the financial statements this year. On page 1, the audit report has changed.
Oh, just for the committee, I put the board.
Oh, okay.
Report is first.
We could do the board report, sorry. Okay, so the board report is just our required communication. It just indicates certain things that we are required to communicate to the audit committee and the board in regards to the audit. So a couple of key things I'd like to point out: that we didn't have any disagreements with management. We didn't have any other consultations with other accountants. There were no issues during the audit. And final is that there's no deficiencies, no compliance issues. So if you flip to page 3, the only suggestion, and this is just a management suggestion that we are making this year, is to adopt a disaster recovery plan. In light of everything that's going on in the world, we just think it's a really good thing to kind of put across the table and discuss in case something were to happen and you had to pick up in a new location at a new time, God forbid. So I don't know if the county has one, but it might be wise to reach out to them as well. Yes.
So is this a physical disaster recovery or a data?
It's a data.
Okay. When you say pick up and go somewhere, that's always.
Well, because sometimes the servers are housed
sure.
on premise.
All right.
Sometimes there's physical data that's here. So if it's
Okay.
not stored electronically, so we kind of use that term broadly.
Got it.
We are backing up, obviously.
Yes.
Do we back up to the cloud or do we back up
Yes.
to the the county used to have a facility at another separate
So we're
location?
separate from the county.
Right,
so we
I
have
know that,
But
yeah.
we back up every day, every night we have an electronic backup. So, but we don't have it in our policy. We don't have a policy.
Right,
that states
yeah, right.
that. So while we are practicing it.
What your plan would be.
Yeah,
Right.
the plan would be,
Yeah.
we
No, that's a good idea.
need to have it kind of memorialized in the policy.
And again, it's just a suggestion. It doesn't mean that you have to do it, but we feel that
Should.
we would make the recommendation to do it. Yep.
Okay.
Other than that, no other deficiencies or compliance issues. So now back to the financial statement. Sorry about that. So page 1, the AICPA and the accounting and auditing standards have changed, and we are now required to put the opinion first, which in my opinion should have always been first. So that's on page 1.
Okay, so that's, keep going. That's good. There you go, page 1.
Okay, that page one. Okay.
Right there. So, okay, now, sorry. Formally, the opinion used to be at the bottom of the letter. Now they've put it at the top where I think it should be. So, summary, you guys have a clean opinion, which is what you want from an audit. And I'll just go over some key items from the financial statement. So page 4 is called the management discussion and analysis report. So this is just a summary of what's in the basic financial statements that are to come. And then there's the currently known facts, decisions, and conditions. So it's what's happened over the year based on the transactions and the activity of the agency. So you guys have seen it all and heard it all, and it's in your minutes, so I'm not gonna go over that. But if we flip to page 7, which is your statement of financial position, I'm just gonna go over a few key things. So your cash is up about $664,000. You do have an accounts receivable, but with that comes a liability that's also in the accounts payable and accrued liabilities. This was an overpayment by GAAP. Your prepaids are pretty consistent, and your Cricket Valley escrow grew a little bit, but it also has an offset in the liability, so that's kind of a wash. But overall, you've remained consistent in your numbers, other than the AR and then your increase in cash. So your total net position at the end of the year was $2,886,272, which is up from last year. And why it's up, we'll go to page 8 to show why that's up. So your administrative and closing fees are up almost $1.2 million. There were a bunch of new projects and amendments that happened over the year. Amazon being one of the big ones, Frito-Lay being another. But your expenses remained fairly consistent. Actually, they're down just under $3,000. So overall for the year, the agency has an operating gain of $677,000 in comparison to the loss from last year. So at the end of the day, you gained $680,821. So that's how your net position increased. So overall, a very good year for the agency. Any questions?
Just one number jumps right out of me, and 2020, the interest income at 34,000. I have no idea.
I'd have to go back and look at
right.
the detail. I do know that there was a shift in the way that the funds were invested from last year to this year. And because there weren't a lot of projects, a lot of the money stayed there. So it might have gotten more interest in that year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to go back.
Yeah, that's a question I have.
Okay, I can look into that. And then page 9 is just how the cash moved in and out from the year. So at the end of the day, you had receipts of almost 1,032,000. You paid vendors of $372,000. Again, there's your interest income. So overall, your cash increased $664,000 in comparison to the $480,000 loss from last year. And then the next schedule is just how you got to that operating income from a different perspective. So accounts receivable of $279,000 and your AP increase of $264,000. So it's really a wash in comparison to your operating gain. There were no changes to any of the standard disclosures that are on pages 10, 11, and then 12. We do have this conduit debt, but actually we're going to change that since this is a draft because there was no effect of it. We're just going to change that, and that's actually going to come out.
What's going to come out, the whole paragraph?
That whole paragraph,
Number
yeah.
3?
Nope, on page 12, number 5, yeah. Because technically, this was adopted in, not in 2019, but it didn't have an effect on the financial statement. So because it's now effective, coming up in the current period, we're just going to change the way that the disclosure reads.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But it did not change the way
right.
that the conduit debt is being reported. Okay. So speaking of conduit debt, so if we go to page 13, this shows where the conduit debt is. So at the beginning of the year, you were at 134 million, and at the end of the year, you're at 20 million. So Bard College paid off theirs.
Yeah, so this was, if you could recall, the LD Bard did a refunding
Yep.
On the LDC side, so that's why.
Yep. And then pages 14 on, or just the summary of the tax exemptions, the pilots, and the full-time equivalents for all the different projects.
Chair.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, Don Fagley, I have a question.
Sure.
In the accounting disclosures, is there any recognition or disclosure that we may have to do? It might be an LDC issue with regards to leases.
Leases, yes.
And-
Yep. It's only on the LDC side because that's where the lease is recorded.
Okay, I just wanted.
Yes.
And is there any required disclosure to say there are no leases that need to be addressed at the entity level? That might be
On the
question for you.
IDA?
Yeah, is there a disclosure that says? That's
No,
required
but we
that
could
there are
easily
no
put one in if you would like.
No, I just was,
So there is a standard saying so in the disclosure, it does say which standards are coming out. So the first one is, it says the GASB has issued statements 87 through 98. So 87 is the lease implementation, but it says those that could have any substantive effects on the net position are noted above, which means it really is not going to have an effect on the agency, but we could expand on that if you would like to.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
Are there any other questions on the IDA?
So just regarding the supplemental, this is really for the board, is in the coming months, probably around May, June, I do a project performance report where I expand upon the job numbers and the reason, if any of the projects are experiencing job loss, the reason behind the job loss numbers. So that, one thing that Shannon is going to do is, if you see the notes, there's like 3 little stars. It means that the sales tax information was not available at the time of audit, which is fairly usual because the sales tax report is actually not due to the state until February 28th. And we only require a copy of that filing. So we don't get that until like around now.
Right.
And so that's what it means. And then the dash means that they're not eligible for sales tax. There is one or 2 projects that Eastdale that have those 3 stars, but it really should have a dash. So we're going to be cleaning that up.
Okay.
So will the numbers get put in later or no?
No, so they'll be put in Paris. You'll see them in
Yeah,
Paris, but you won't see them in our audit.
Right. Financials.
Because the financials were done, I think your date was March 8th or something, or no, March.
9th, because that's
Yeah.
what I need.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So they won't be approved until then. So if data comes in and we'd like to put it in, that's absolutely okay.
Right.
I just,
Right.
Yeah.
it just depends on how quick the information comes in or not comes in.
We actually have.
Still, though, I have 2 of them that are still, I'm missing one ST340 out of Fox Run,
So would you, Kathy, would you like us to put in the information that we have?
If we have the information, let's put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you want it to be as close to
and I-
Paris as you possibly
I have
can.
that same spreadsheet.
Yeah, so we'll just wait until, so you just need to let us know how much time you need between you want to send out the draft to the board meeting
Okay.
for the 9th. And then we'll come up with a deadline and then you just give me all the information at that point and we'll drop it in.
Okay, because what we'll do is we'll give you everything that's complete. We'll just take out Fox Run, and Fox Run will just have those stars.
And then I have, for the 28 Creek, I just have a question out.
Yeah, so once we get that, hopefully we'll have that all by the end of the day today. So we'll send that to you end of day today.
And then we can get everything hopefully by Monday for the
Yes.
board.
Yeah, so Monday is when I'll send the updated draft then.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So I'll make a note.
So why are you taking Fox Run out? What?
Because we were still waiting on an
Oh, okay.
SC340, so.
So it could change it in
Yeah.
value,
Okay.
that line. And if we don't get it, do we need the stars then? So.
But if we don't get it, we'll just leave the stars.
Okay. Any other questions on the audit? If somebody is willing to make a motion to present the audit at the board meeting on March 9th?
I'll make a
I'll
motion.
make that move. I'll second it. I'll second Jamie's motion, sorry.
And Sarah, if you could take the vote, please.
Yep. Jamie Picone,
Approve.
Don Sagliano,
Approve.
Kathy Bauer.
Approved.
Okay.
Okay, is there any old business?
No old business,
Any new business?
no new business.
All right, I'd like to make the motion to adjourn the meeting of the IDA Finance and Audit Committee meeting.
Second.
Okay.
Do we need a second?
No, we don't have a second, but